There it is. I finally figured it out. Get us back in there.
Wow,
Happy Friday, Scott.
Back, take it easy.
Oh, butchered it. I don't think I ran the intro since the Matthew Harris interview. This is going to be the last time I did it. So,
oh man,
it's been a minute.
So me throwing that on you like 10 seconds before we went live, that was probably not the best thing to do. Didn't even give you a chance to do a run through or anything.
It's like, hey, you got the intro? Because I might fall asleep. I was, yeah, I got it.
I've got my cheer wine over here. I have Mountain Dew too, but I'm going full North Carolinian with the cheer wine. Have you ever had this? Have you ever heard of it?
I have not. No.
I think it's only like legal to sell in North Carolina or something. I don't know. I've never heard of it until I moved here.
Only legal? Why? What's the catch with it?
It's like a black cherry Dr. Pepper. Because it's like phenomenal. A whole bunch of flavors, but it's mostly black cherry in it. Man, it has a little bit of caffeine too. a little bit of a kick as well. But
so you're rocking and rolling, and then about 60% of the way through the podcast, you're going to be slumped back in that chair.
Two cans. Halfway through, you'll hear we'll get some ASMR there.
Oh man. Well, happy Friday. You made it through a week. You've made it through 2 long weeks, actually. The manhunt, and then you add on trying to court hop and find and research trials and courts and what's going on. And the research is that's no gimme, trying to do all that and maintain the channel. So I bet you're ready for the weekend, aren't you?
I am. People are asking, what's it called? It's called cheer wine. Drink cheer wine. I guess they started making it in 1917. Same recipe, maybe? I don't know.
Dang. 26 or 28 flavors, just like Dr. Pepper, whatever they claim.
I don't think they can advertise that. That would be like a lawsuit or something. But it reminds me of Dr. Pepper. My audio is crazy glitching. Do you hear me glitch a lot?
Not on my side. You're coming through in my headset loud and clear and smooth.
I'm getting several people saying my mic is glitching.
It's just the way he's talking because of the caffeine. So
it's better now. All right. Well, I'll try not to touch anything. I don't want to break anything.
There we go. So Friday, podcast, not true crime, but I don't want to abort the Cavalcante story yet.
Okay.
I have a theory. I don't know so much if it's theory, but I have a thought that I've wanted to share. I've shared it with a few people, but not online. And this might not be popular opinion. So
let's definitely hear it then.
Yeah, right. Let's see if we can get shots fired. Pun intended, because so his encounter with the homeowner, where the homeowner fired off 7 rounds or however many he did, right? At Cavalcante. And the report came back, the homeowner sustained a penetrating injury. Here's my theory on this injury. I believe if Cavalcante shot him, they would have reported it. He sustained a gunshot wound from Cavalcante. They exchanged gunfire. That would have been reported, in my opinion, to show how dangerous he is, how if you haven't been taking this serious enough, you have to now. Look what just happened. I truly believe one of 2 things. My first thought is, and so this was a gentleman reported about 76 or so, right, of age, I think, the homeowner.
Yeah.
Who shot at him. My personal thought is when he, in a panic and couldn't believe what he was seeing in front of him when he drew his firearm, I believe he had a negligent discharge and shot himself in the foot or leg.
He shot himself in the foot? I don't know. We actually might get an answer to that one.
Or he stumbled and hit something in his garage where he got hurt. But I truly think he had a negligent discharge, and they didn't want to embarrass the homeowner. They didn't want to say gunshot wound because everyone assumed, Cavalcante did it.
Right.
I think that's what happened. I think when he drew his firearm, discharge. I truly think that's what happened. Because a penetrating wound, who reports that like that?
It did seem a little suspicious. It made it sound like, either he was impacted by something, which didn't sound. I mean, I guess in my garage that could happen. There's all sorts of junk.
Right.
But yeah, I was just thinking maybe it would be like he stepped on a rake or something and hurt his foot.
So Lisa's I think he stepped on a rake. So I think that's my second option of yes, he during his panic
on the screen when I said that.
It was actually, it just popped up. So no, you guys kind of jinx, you owe each other a Coke is what happened in that scenario.
Lee, our minds are, the synapses are firing back and forth. It's going great.
So that's probably a very likely scenario during his panic and him. I don't know if he ran after him to shoot or if he ran to a sidewall to shoot at him, but I definitely think whatever it was self-inflicted.
I think he stepped on something, probably a walnut. Have you ever stepped on a walnut?
No. Have you ever heard what one sounds like when it hits the roof of a patrol car and they call it in as shots fired?
Really? It sounds just like a small caliber rifle being fired. False alarm, guys. It was just a walnut.
Walnut hit my cruiser.
Some squirrel up there pranking them. Like, hey, why you guys watch this? Oh, Red Pen says
theory.
We're going to get some walnut jokes from Red Pen today, I think.
Yes, walnuts. I love it. Speaking of squirrels, he said playing pranks on it. My two of my 4 dogs had a squirrel treed this afternoon. I heard him barking. I was in the garage, and we don't want to be a nuisance to our neighbors and let the dogs be out back and just barking. So I go back to investigate, and sure enough, there's a squirrel at the top of a tree flexing his tail, and one dog's trying to jump the trunk, and our other dog's barking at it. So the squirrel runs down onto our fence, runs across the back of the fence, and the dogs beeline it down the fence line. The squirrel could easily keep going to neighbors' fences. It stops, comes back, and goes back up the same tree to make the dogs U-turn, come back and go. So I'm pretty sure the squirrel was playing with our dogs and fanning his tail going.
Squirrel had a couple of dogs treed is what it had.
It's exactly the case.
I can make him sit here all day.
Yep.
Oh,
that's
man.
exactly the case.
Man, that's pretty cool.
Oh.
Animals are fun. I got after the live stream ended, we went out. We've hooked up the TV in the Airbnb, and it's the kids' favorite thing to go up, just like gag, here's funny home videos or something out there, and the kids just love it. So watching animal fails is funny. Just the cats that jump up onto tinfoil or something, their reaction, and
they whiff.
It was pretty fun. Let's see. Please do that for us. I want it's a walnut sound from Dispatcher, says Red Pen. I'm not sure if it was a clear. We'll have to listen. There were a couple little sound bites that came across the scanner during that whole Cavalcante thing that were just like, what was that? And I think the best was the press conference, that prankster that snuck in.
Yeah.
Was there any concern that he was going to team up with another small man and climb inside the trench coat, Little Rascal style? No.
The best part, everyone heard that and like, well, he's fired from whatever network he's representing. That's a terrible question. He blew his whole opportunity, but it turns out he wasn't. He's just a jokester who slid right into that, which is hilarious. Is he really?
It's a not safe for work podcast. I think language wise, it's out there quite a bit. But I think it's called like little stinkers or something like that.
Okay.
He's the podcast host. So I saw him own up to it on TikTok. And it was pretty funny. He just snuck in. He's like, looks like they're letting anybody in. So he got in there. He's like, hey, this is cool. And they started asking questions. He's like, maybe I could ask a question.
Kudos to him for giving it a run and getting called on to ask a question. And he did it.
Kicked him out after about 30 seconds after his question. Was a prankster. Yep. But it does make the story even better a little bit.
It does. So it's not an incompetent reporter. It's a guy who intentionally did that. So it actually makes more sense and it makes light of the situation, which I love.
It was 2 weeks of our life. By this same logic, Red Pen, we need to have like 15 different financial sound bites from the Murdaugh trial because we were there for like a month. So, oh man.
It would be, did you steal from? Did you steal from? Did you steal from? On repeat.
Alex stole it. Alex stole it as well.
I think that covers that 3-week period.
Alex stole it as well. Alex stole it. Now Murdaugh stole it.
Yeah, that's what we need.
There you go. Oh, I love it. So the weekend's coming. It's here. We're there. We've made it. Most of us. Some have to work night jobs, but I stumbled across this on accident when I was just researching some stuff for the podcast, and usually we do stories, but this was just a subject, and I came across this thing of I thought, what's happening this weekend? I wanted to look at it, see if there was a big event or anything else, and I found out there's a lot of things this weekend that some are very not relevant, and some are, depending who you are, for the weekend. But it's national and international holidays that fall on this Saturday and Sunday. And the list was mind-blowing of what this weekend consists of. Now, I know there's a million like national holidays, right? National Banana Day. They've made a holiday for everything. That's kind of what these fall under. But I saw them and I thought it's kind of funny to touch on some of them.
Official, like government recognized. people get vacation on these days for this reason.
So I don't think they get vacation days. Well, it depends where you work. I imagine some of them that might be in the industry or in that arena get the time off. But for example, I've got a plethora here. So one of which is going to be tomorrow is International Coastal Cleanup Day. So we should expect to see Brandy out there picking up cans and trash off the beach. If she celebrates,
I don't think there's any trash on her beach. She lives in like paradise. It is beautiful 24/7.
She'll watch the cam, see what washed up from Hurricane Idalia.
There's a broken shell here that's out of place. Now it's back to looking perfect.
Right. National Step Family Day, which I didn't know that's a thing. I think it's kind of cool. So celebrating, joined families that have come together, which I think is a neat thing. The last comment that was up there, National Hamburger Day or Cheeseburger Day, either one. I saw that too. That's on Monday. So it's not in this article.
National Double Quarter Pounder Cheese with Bacon Day.
Well, there's a lot of chains that are offering discounts. Like I think McDonald's, of course, there's always a catch. If you have to use their app, right? They're trying to suck you in, but you can get a double cheeseburger at McDonald's on Monday for an extra penny. Yeah, that's right.
They can track where you are, and every time you get close to a competitor's restaurant, they send you an ad that's like, "Hey, McDonald's,
free milkshake for you now."
You think I'm joking? Mark my words, they're tracking you.
I believe it.
No tinfoil hat.
We've got that emoji in chat. So.
Talk like a pirate day. It's a good one for Cole.
Saturday again, National Working Parents Day. So it celebrates the parents that work to provide for their families, full-time jobs, which I read that. And now I know there are some people that are in between jobs or struggling to find a job or something like that. But the majority of parents have to work to provide for their families. And that's a thing. So, but that's a holiday tomorrow, along with National Play-Doh Day, which I haven't seen for
leave
years.
The kids home with Play-Doh, parents go to work, everything's fine.
Yeah.
You know what, kids? Play-Doh is supposed to be like the most innocent toy, right? It's like it's like childproof, non-toxic, everything. You know what kids can do with Play-Doh? Have you ever tried to scrape that out of carpet? And that red, it's like food coloring. Anything it touches is like
the old shag carpet,
yellow can with little plastic lid. And you're like, oh, that would be a great toy. It's not, you guys.
And the little piece that gets in the old shag carpet and you miss it. So 2 weeks later, you find it with your foot because it's dried and hard and caked to that thing. Now it's cement.
And it's sharp.
Yeah. Speaking of that, we've got National Collect Rocks Day tomorrow.
Okay. This is one actually that resonates with me. I have a rock collection. I realize that's something kids did, but I still have my rock collection from when I was a kid. When I go hiking, I'll have a backpack and I'll go up there with water and it'll be heavy because I've got a lot of water with me. And when I come down, it's heavier, but the water's all gone. And I just have rocks in my backpack. And I guess it's stupid just to load, because I'm, exhausted from carrying all these rocks, but I have the coolest rocks and I've always got plans for them. It's like, I want to cut and polish this one. I have one literally that I know just in my mind, I know it's just beautiful, like little veins of purple. I don't know what amethyst in it that I can just tell from the outside that's there, but I just don't know how to cut it. It's too big for most of the tile saws. So I've got to find somebody to cut it. It's going to be like a showpiece, I'm sure. But right now it's sitting out on my deck, just getting rained on, stubbing my toes on it.
It's a weather vane. If your rock is wet, it's raining.
Weather rock.
Yeah, that's right.
Who needs a Weatherman, right?
I got to tie him in every time I can, right? We've got on the list National Guacamole Day. For those that are comic fans, it is National Batman Day. So that's a big one. We can tie Batman into a story we've got later. So a little pre-segue. It's Teenage Workout Day. So get your kids out of the house and get them to mow the lawn to celebrate Teenage Work Day tomorrow.
This is something I can stand by. Let's support this. My family's going to participate. My kids especially.
Well, with all the kids you have, your lawn will be done in 30 minutes. And everything.
I have amazing neighbors. I mean, really, that's not something to complain about. But I'm trying to teach my kids to mow the lawn. Okay, I've got one son that initially it was like he thought the go-kart, the lawnmower was a go-kart. It's like anytime he wants, it's like, can I drive it? Can I drive it? Can I drive it? And so I'm like, yeah, you can. Drive it in lines like this in this pattern around the lawn and make sure want him to mow it. Suddenly, it's not nearly as fun. And my neighbor, awesome guy that he is, as soon as our lawn gets more than like a quarter inch higher than we usually cut it, he's like, hey, I'm gonna go mow the lawn. And he's always out there. It's like he's just cruising it like twice a week. He'll mow my lawn. I'm like, you gotta hold up, man. I've got to give my kids a chance. Give them a day at least, for doing when I tell them to do it and when they actually cut it. You're like, oh, it's nothing. I'm like, yeah, it is. I need him to mow the lawn. I'm trying to teach him. But
it's something for me. That's cool. I asked my neighbors. We have lawns and then a sidewalk and then a little median, and we share those. And so I've asked my neighbors because I love to mow. And I hate mowing my portion of the median and leaving their taller grass in mine. I feel like it makes me selfish. Like you mow it yourself.
You don't call like one of those property line marker people to come. Yeah, your lawn is like, that blade of grass looks like it's on your side, so you're on your own this time.
Right. No, I feel bad. Like I'm not mowing, that's my lawn. So I've actually asked neighbors on both sides, do you guys mind when I mow if I just do the whole median? Are you guys picky? And they're like, nope, it's fine. So it's I promise I'll not cut your lawn for sick. But yeah, it's funny. Some will do it, and some lawns are a big controversy. Well, with the
trees
your trees are they're up there too.
Some people get all up in arms about that.
Yeah. All right, so we've got a couple more that I'll fire through. Here's a big one for a lot of us listening. Skipping ahead to Sunday, International Country Music Day. That's a big one for me. Being in North Texas, I love country music. But this one, for you married men out here, you want to score some points because I guarantee your wives won't even know this day exists. Sunday is Wife Appreciation Day. So I guarantee you do a little something on Sunday for your wife. And she's like, what
is Mrs. R.A. here?
Don't let her hear this. You could surprise.
If she hears this, I really can't forget.
Oh, no, sure. I'll text you.
Okay, thank you.
But you get to do a little something extra for the wife. She's like, well, you're being so sweet. What's the catch? And there's no catch. It's National Wife Appreciation Day. And the fact that you will know that and they won't, bam, like Tasha, where to go? Let's skip that. Let's go. What would Adam do? Or no?
It was Wife Appreciation Wad. I'm like, that's not
Wad. I appreciate you, Wad. Oh, Adam.
All right. Eddie, which one with you of all the list? Which one are you most likely to celebrate?
Well, I'm skipping the wife one. I'm gonna go with here it is. Your channel's notorious for just food is the foundation. Mm-hmm. So Sunday is National Monte Cristo Day. That sounds so good, and I haven't eaten.
Is it bad if I don't know what a Monte Cristo is?
What? The sandwich? It's like I got to put it in layman's terms. It's like a ham and cheese sandwich that's made on French toast, but has a dipping sauce.
Oh, okay. It's a ham and cheese sandwich. You should have said ham and cheese sandwich. No clue what a Monte Cristo is. It's a toasted ham and cheese sandwich, right?
But the bread is like a French toast. It's a sweet, like a French toast style breading. So it's salty and sweet sandwich. And I forget what the dipping sauce is. I haven't had one forever. Chat's gonna figure. Here we go. Jim Bob nailed it. It sounds like diabetes. It is. It's diabetes on a plate. It's amazing. I can't believe you never had a Monte Cristo.
I might have, but I might have looked at it and thought, oh, that's a ham and cheese sandwich.
Wow, that's the best ham and cheese I've ever had.
You're on it, says Red Pen, with Russian dressing.
Well, here, let me click this guy. I've got the.
Is my audio really cutting out bad? Because I can switch to another device if it's terrible.
It has a couple times for me, but not bad. And as of the last, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes, you sound fine. All right. If you've never had this amazing love child of a club sandwich and French toast, it's far past time you change that. Breakfast, lunch, dinner just got better. National Monte Cristo Day. Let's see here. Let me give you, if I can find it without reading this whole shebang.
Is it French?
So the first
Monte
four
feels French.
Classic club sandwich that had been dipped in French toast batter and grilled to golden brown perfection. The combination of sweet and savory with rising zing of sourdough. Oh, there's going to be a lot of variations. Sourdough is always the anchor. Here's what we got. You have to get a Monte Cristo this week so you can give us a review next podcast.
I still didn't do the thing I was supposed to do last time because I can't remember what it was.
That's okay. Lists are fun. Lists are made to stack up.
The list is getting long. We are shopping tomorrow. We're way late on shopping this week. So I actually, right before the podcast, I was at the store just getting a couple things we need. I was supposed to get milk and Mountain Dew. Those are the two I was going to pick. We've got breakfast cereal that will get us through breakfast tomorrow, right? It will get me through the show tonight and the breakfast tomorrow. So we went down there, and of course, we got the Mountain Dew, but it's in 2-liter bottles, where it was really, it was like buy 2 get 1 free, and they were really cheap. So I'm like, sure, I'll do that. But they were warm; they're not cold. And so I had to find some cold, and I found these cold cheer wine, which is a good deal, and I got that. And then I saw the potato chips, and I grabbed 3 bags of potato chips. And I'm like, the potato chips, and I got 2 kinds of dip. I got Dean's Ranch, and then I got the one that's called Helva. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right. It's a hell of a good dip. Hell of a good dip.
We're saving dad jokes for the end.
No, I'm telling you what I bought. And I'm there over there getting the dip, and while I'm there, I look on the other side of the aisle, and they've got the ice cream on the other side, and I see the Bluebell cookie 2-step. So I'm like, well, this is a sign, there's my sign. So I bought that. Then I saw Deer Park water that was on sale, and of course we had to load up with that. I was supposed to spend like $10, and I think I spent 60. And I really only got the milk and the Mountain Dew, and the Mountain Dew is warm, but we've got all the rest. Oh, deep fried pickles, yes, they had that as well. I almost bought that dip. It was right next to the Dean's Ranch, but I thought I would be the only one that eats it because my family, they didn't like it. But
those are amazing, deep fried pickles. And or deep fried Oreos on top of vanilla ice cream.
Or cookie 2-step ice cream.
Or a cookie, yeah. Put a deep fried Oreo on a cookie 2-step. Okay, now we're getting out of hand.
Beth says, who says this here? Where's Beth's comment? I missed it.
Oh, I got it. You
got it?
Yeah. So
I get grounded from shopping. My wife will ground me from shopping, and she'll, it's bad enough when you go shopping on an empty stomach, because then you're like, oh, that looks good, and suddenly you're like sticking like all the pork rind chips and everything. You want to just stuff in your face right then. That would be delicious. And you get home and you have nothing that will actually sustain the family for the week or whatever, however long you shop for.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure I lost my privileges to shop alone today because of this trip.
That is confirmed via chat on screen or comment on screen right now. You that is confirmed.
What if I give you the change? If I return the change? I'll send you a pure wine.
She emphasized it.
She was upstairs. I think she had a headache. She was upstairs in bed when I got back from the store. She had no clue. So this is how she found out what I bought shopping when I was supposed to get 2 things.
The stinking podcast gets you in more trouble than anything else.
$100. I've got $51 back, I think. So I spent less than half. How about that? Less than half.
You
for milk and Mountain Dew.
You spent $49 on milk and Mountain Dew. Oh, busted.
You got your ice cream? For Sunday, for the celebration.
If there's any left. Yeah, I got you ice cream for National Wife's Day. Oh, what are we going to get fired? Groceries are expensive anymore. I mean, everything's expensive.
Well, I was being very self-conscious, or at least price conscious. I only bought things that were on sale, like the ice cream, the cookie two-step. That was $2 off. So I mean, that's saved money right there.
I think you did well.
So there you go. Say that
only,
again louder.
I think Scott did very well.
There we go. We're good. We're good.
Yeah, like she gives me any precedence on opinion. I'm in the doghouse. But only if you could use your metal detector to go find something of value that would cover groceries.
I'm going to need to at this rate. I'm going to need to. And it happens. It happens. It happens to other people. Why can't it happen to me, right?
Yeah, never. Yeah.
Example. Perfect example. Guy over in Norway thinks metal detecting sounds cool. He buys a metal detector. He walks outside and he starts swinging it. It's like beep, beep. It's like, oh, this thing makes noise at anything. He digs it up and there's a gold necklace from like 1100. Okay? This is like, most museums will never see something of this quality and age. Okay? It's amazing. This gold, fancy, ornate, like all these little ding, 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 platelet little necklace things that he just turned on his metal detector and found. Now, there's a catch for him in Norway. First day, first trip, probably the first beep it made is how I envision the story going down. But there's a catch because in Norway, anything over a certain age, the antiquities law kicks in.
Oh no!
Your microphone. Is it that bad? And the state or the country, I guess the king, the crown, gets everything. And he gets nada. He gets his picture in a paper and a cool story to tell his friends down at the pub, and that is it.
And a cool story for us to tell on our podcast.
He would have been better off, financially speaking, finding like a 10 euro coin or 20 crowns or something. You got nada.
Can he not tell anyone and ship it elsewhere? I mean, what's the penalty if that happens? I guess.
Well, it's like equivalent to breaking into the king's treasury and stealing out of their treasury because they believe it's theirs, and that's like how they view it. You are literally robbing the crown, which they worth. It's hard to put a number on it, but it's probably worth, I don't know, let's say between hundreds of thousands and $1 million, in that range.
So plenty of milk, Mountain Dew, ice cream, potato chips,
like all the food you want at the grocery store. Anytime you want it.
So it covers everything.
Yeah, no one's going to really put a value on it because the state gets it for free. So no one, things are worth what people pay for it.
Right.
In England, they have a different law where they have a finder's fee. So you find something of treasure, it's like you find Henry VIII's, gold ring, which I think somebody actually found, and it goes to somebody who has to look at it and determine if it's treasure or not. If it's treasure, the museum's like bid on it, and the money they buy with, half of it goes to the person who found it, and half goes to the landowner, and it's like win-win. But
see, I like that because they wouldn't have that prized possession without the individual's efforts to then have it, and it's kind of a reward of, hey, thanks for not lying and just keeping it and never turning it in. So you did. So here you go. Here's your finder's fee.
Benefits because it's on display in a museum in theory. So it's not just sitting in somebody's basement in a box or in a vault in the safe somewhere or melted down scrap, just however people want to do it. Norway's super picky about history finds, says Tag. Yeah.
But we need to back up real quick before we jump to the next one. So you're catching a little bit of heat, which I'm about to now, from Mrs. R.A. But on today's stream,
I thought I was forgiven.
Well, we're going to assume it is, but she was giving you some heat. In today's stream, you shared a little story about the joke I put in mod chat, and Mrs. RA divulged to the kiddos. So let's call Even Steven here and let the people know what happened.
Here we are. Let's see, R. Larson. So see my last post. Can you look at the last post while I'm telling the story?
Yes. Let's see.
That name looks distinctly Norwegian or Scandinavian, I should say. Larson. So we're in Lowe's, right? We're in Lowe's. We're buying all the stuff we need for the. You get 10% of the real value. So maybe he made, that's life-changing money anyway. Thank you very much for that. Thanks for the correction. Sure. Hopefully the guy can cash in, and he is Norwegian. Jeg kan ikke snakke norsk, I think, or something close to that. So we're in Lowe's, we're shopping, and we're trying to look up things on the phone because you can't find help in Lowe's, really.
Nope.
It's the workers actually are trained at disappearing. It's like a leprechaun. And you see them in their little vests, and you're like, oh, they're just around the corner. You get around the corner, they're gone, and they disappear. So, and to make matters worse, right as we're looking for somebody to help us to find some stuff, they come out of the page and like, attention, all employees not helping customers. We have a cart roundup in the parking lot. All employees not helping customers. Cart roundup in the parking lot. And it was funny because all the employees were like diving to the back of the store, like the bathrooms and things like that. Like nobody was going out front, and there were only 2 carts available when we got there to begin with. And so it's like customers were standing there like, I would shop here, but I don't have a cart. And so
right.
That was neither here nor there. So that's the situation we're in. We're walking around. We did find a cart. We're walking around and looking for stuff in the Walmart, and I'm getting the mods are talking a little bit on the mod chat, and I hand it to Mrs. RA, and Thomas sends a chat, and it's a joke.
It's a great one, might I add. It's a great one.
Let me. I'll read it verbatim if I can scroll back far enough.
Please do.
This could be back a little ways, huh?
Oh, yes.
Scroll. Let's see this.
Well, I can tell it if you can't find it.
You tell it. It would sound better because I don't want to mess it up. With this much setup, and if I completely botch the delivery, I'll never hear the end of it.
Now you got me nervous. I'm going to. But so the stream's over. Mod chat is quiet, so I just put it in there. But it's why don't monsters ever eat ghosts?
And so I hand the phone to Mrs. RA. She reads that, and the kids are all like, oh, I wonder why. And the phone buzzes again, and we have another message. It's from Weather Watch. And my wife says,
because they taste like sheet. It's like a sheet. So Scott replies in the chat, oh, that's funny. Oh, Mrs. RA just read that to the kids without actually knowing what was happening.
You're like read it, and then it clicked in that moment.
So that was so I immediately just typed, uh-oh, I'm in the doghouse for putting that in chat.
And I vicariously am in the doghouse for him.
Yeah, that's a team effort.
Anyway, Mrs. RA has to put up with the both of us. It's tough life.
It is true. And then I sent Scott a picture today. Are you able to share that picture by chance? Do we have a setup of that hoodie that I texted you earlier? That it randomly came across my screen because of that joke.
Let's see if I can share it here.
Because I don't even know how. I mean, the algorithm is crazy when this thing popped up and I saw it. That's why I texted you right away.
So yeah, this is how McDonald's knows where you're.
That's right.
They're spying on you. They really are. Okay.
Killer Pete, yep. Guilty by association.
What picture is going to be? I think it's 7. Let me check. 7. Here we go.
So this comes to me today out of nowhere. So I immediately texted to Scott. This is some boo sheet that comes in. So I texted right away, and I saw you read it when you're streaming while the judge was talking. You got a chuckle out of it. So it's everywhere.
Yep.
Oh, I couldn't believe it.
That was pretty good. I completely lost our rundown. I don't know where it is.
It's okay because I got the next one.
Okay.
Because now that you're fearful of repercussions for Mrs. RA, we go right into our top 3 biggest.
Before you start, I'm about to pull a plug out of my computer, and if I disappear, you guys have a good weekend. Thomas has it. Just kidding.
Okay.
I'll be back if I disappear. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Please work. Okay,
Oh, so much
am I still here?
You're still here. It worked.
All right, we're good.
All right. So a little tweak on our game segment, or top 3, and this is our top 3 biggest, and it's broken down. So it's going to be your top. What's your biggest fear, biggest regret, biggest achievement? And achievement can be one you haven't achieved yet, but you still want to. So that's our top 3, which is kind of deep. And you can make them funny, or you can share with the world what you're thinking.
Okay, so this is a really raw one. You ready? This is like personal. It's not funny at all. This goes in the biggest regret. Now I've done lots of stupid things that I regret, but right now this is the first thing that came to my head. Okay. I was a bad brother.
Oh,
when I was just got my license, or I was just about to get my license. My sister drove me to a performance for a girl who was doing some ballet thing that I was trying to date. So I'm like 16, didn't have my license yet, I think, but that was the age I was. And she drove me all the way to the school, and she's listening here. I am so sorry. Okay. She drove me to school, and I got out and started walking into the school, and she was driving. We were driving like she was driving a 1976 Ford Country Squire station wagon, which is like a land yacht. It's like 43 feet long, and big studded snow tires on the back, brown fake wood paneling along the sides. It was the ugliest vehicle known to man, and that's what we drove. And as I got out and started walking into this school, she tried to pull out around a car, and she hit the car.
Oh.
And I just went in the school.
Oh. You
Yeah. I just went in. I didn't stop and turn around. And I still feel bad to this day, and I don't think I've ever told her. So
is this the sister that I know?
No. If you're listening, I am very sorry. I'm very sorry. Not funny. I didn't know what to do. I'm like, I was scared at the same time. I have a million excuses, but
here's the best excuse of them all. Typical teenage boy. I mean, what are you going to do? What are we going to do?
Yeah.
I can't believe you did that. I don't have
that is boo sheets.
It's boo. The chat makes these shows. They're the best.
I don't know if there's any damage. I don't know if it was just like a bump, but yeah, it was. Anyway, I left the crime scene.
You're going to get served with paperwork on Monday. Hit and run.
It was. I wasn't there. Like, I was walking away when she hit them. I was walking away, and I knew she hit it. It was and then I left. But anyway,
well, bye.
I'm sorry, sister.
Oh man.
Let me just tell you this. That experience and how guilty I felt has changed my life in many, many ways when I'm in other situations. And I think back about that one and think just how much regret I had and still have over that. And it changes how I act in different situations now. Life
lessons, right? They're the best, as they say. Man, so I could follow that up with my biggest fear is heights, but that just fails. So I got to stay on the deep train where you're going for a minute.
Yeah, got to be serious on this one. Make it count.
Yeah, I have one for this. I thought about sharing it or not, but I'll go for it. So my biggest fear is failing as a stepfather. So Mrs. Weatherwatch and I got together when her daughter was 5. She's now 14. Has everyday struggles like every other kid does, right? When I first met her, I was extremely immature, nowhere near ready to be a parent or a step parent, whatever you want to call it. A lot of people call them bonus kids and stuff like that, and I'm on board with it. So I think that's my biggest fear. She's now becoming a young adult. She's no longer 5 and 6 and 7 and just loves life. And hey, so failing as a stepdad to guide her in her to her adult years, protect her, but yet let her learn life and do her thing. That's one of my biggest fears of, if anything ever didn't work the greatest, looking back of going, oh, what could I have done to be a better? And I'm sure every parent thinks that, not just a step parent, all parents, but that's my current fear.
Parenting is hard.
It's hard.
And no matter how many books you read, nobody wrote a book for the situation you're in, you know, for your kid and for, you know, the scenario that they're going through at their age and your situation at the same time. It's like every single parent has to figure this out on their own. And, you know, it's good to have a support system that you can lean on, but really it's all trial and error. And that's something I hope that my kids understand when they get older is, guess what? It was my first time being a parent. You know, I didn't get like a few practice runs at this before the kids came along. It was, you know, for each one, I have 6 for each one. That's the first time I've had, you know, a 6th child. And it brings interesting things that 5 did not bring. So, but yeah, crazy.
One thing I will say, because I don't want to leave a dark cloud over that. It's a lot of people have that fear. I'm not the only one, so I'm not, no sympathy or support me. But I will say what's really neat is that how much we learn from our children when the way they act or behave or do certain things, you reflect on, oh man, I remember when I was a kid and I did this, or wow, she actually behaves in these situations way better than I did when I was a kid. Kudos to her, you know, or him, whatever. Right? It's just funny how you can learn so much from children at the same given time while you're trying to learn and be good. But anyways, that's a fear for mine. So you did your regret. You've got fear and achievement.
Fear and achievement. Let me go to fear. Let me go back to when I was a kid. And this is an irrational fear, I realized, because like exactly 0 times did it ever happen. And I grew up without a television. We didn't have a TV in our home. So TV was like movies, all the scary movies you think of. I just have not seen them. Okay. We didn't watch them. And so we had a downstairs that had like the stairs that were like sort of the stairway was open on the side. So you go up a little bit and then you turn 90 degrees and go up the rest, but the whole thing is open on the side. So you actually can like sort of fall through if you wanted to and hurt yourself because it's hard. There's no like railings or anything, but we would have to turn the lights off when we went upstairs. But the light switch was like all the way down around the stairs and over by the hallway. So it's across the room. And at night, if you're turning off the light when you're going upstairs, it's like 3 steps in the dark. And so then you grab the post to go run around to go up the stairs. And I was scared to death that every time I started to take a step, that something was going to reach out and grab me by the ankle from the dark. That it was just something was going to, a monster, who, you know, boogeyman, whatever it is, was going to grab me by the ankle. And I never had any of my brothers and sisters scare me like that or anything. I have no reason to have that fear. But I developed lightning quick feet. I mean, laser fast. I could fly up those stairs faster than you could believe it, because if I did not, something would have grabbed my feet. I was convinced that would happen. And then on the flip side, going downstairs, I learned that if you tip your feet just right and hold on to the railing, you can actually like ski down the stairs on your feet without falling on your butt. And so between running up the stairs, you know, like, and I wouldn't skip steps either. It was every single step. It was just running up each step. I would run up the stairs and I would come down almost as fast, just down to the landing, and then you jump the last 3 after you turn. But that was my fear, that something was going to grab me by the ankle when I was going upstairs.
How much fun did your family have, like watching you go up the stairs and all of a sudden you just
I think all around the same fear, because we all did it. But none of us would talk about it. It's like the boogeyman. You talk about it, it becomes real, right? About this. And my kids right here run up the stairs when it's dark.
It's genetic.
I've got to think it's the exact same thing. I can't do I can probably, well, my speed is probably slowed down a little bit on going the up, but I definitely cannot do the down anymore. I can't.
The knees. ever take. You can't do the down either. Oh, so that leaves me with regret, and then we both have achievement.
And is achievement going to be one we want to achieve, or one that we already have achieved?
Either or. So it can be one you've done, or one that you want to. That's where we get a little leeway on achievement. It's regret. Gosh, so many. Where do I start?
Page 3. Okay.
Yeah. Oh man, I've got a variety of them. To me, regrets are really hard, right? Because I'm at a good place in my life currently, and I wouldn't be here now without the success and failures that I did have. So I feel like if I did change certain things in my past, I might not be where I am now. So it's kind of hard to go back and look, but I'll go with one. And this was when I was back to my hockey days, and I got a scholarship offer to a particular school, and it's a very good hockey school. And I was so excited. My coach told me it's hey, it's a 3 for 4, which they pay for 3 out of your 4 years, basic type scholarship. And I couldn't believe it. But he said, hey, I advise against it because the current goalie who's there is phenomenal. So you're probably not going to play for your first 2 years. So I would consider not going there, staying where you are 1 more year, and then see what offers come dumping in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I said, well, okay, great idea. So the offer was actually from Michigan State, and I was so excited. But so I turned it down, and then so I stayed with my current team before I went to college, and I had my worst year of hockey ever. I played so poorly. It was awful. So therefore, I had some other Division III offers and things kind of coming in, and they were around, and so I went. So I think I regret not taking that. For one, I would have had an amazing education from that school, but I would have learned a lot and grown through my hockey. I ended up keep playing, and I ended up playing a little bit of semi-pro after that, but not very long. And just the wind in my sails just kind of kerplunked. So if I could go back in time and fix it, I would have taken that and seen what happened, and not listen to my coach saying, you're probably not going to play for 2 years. I would have gone in there and tried to work hard. Said, well, maybe I could mature and then be better than that guy. So, yeah. So that would be my regret, among others, but that's the not so sensitive one.
I have to admit, when you were telling that story, I did sort of think about the scene in the Napoleon Dynamite video where the guy's like, but I could throw this football over the mountain. Yeah. Coach, you just put me in. Coach, you just put me in. No, it's but no, yeah, we don't know, what could have been and what might have been and what it could have, should have. But
right.
No,
but I look now.
Purpose and I wouldn't change what I have now for the possibility of something I missed.
Same boat, right? I might have gone there and maybe it went well, and then maybe I got drafted, and then maybe I never moved to the part of the country I'm in now, and I never would have met the missus I have and the stepdaughter I have. So, and life would have been different, and I love what I have now, so I'm okay with it. It's an okay thing now. It's almost like fairy tale land. Go back and what could I change if I wanted to, and see what happens. But I don't really want to, because I don't want to lose what I have. But
so if I go on to my achievement, I have a bucket list, but I don't write it down, because then it's like a goal, and then I'd feel bad about not achieving most of them.
Right.
In my head, it makes sense. There are things I want to do, and things that I have wanted to and have done now. But I can list a couple of them. I wanted to have video I shot appear on national television.
Okay.
And it happened. It happened while I was in college. I happened to grab my phone when some strange weather phenomenon was whipping through. We had like huge downforce, straight line winds coming through canyons, and it was blowing roofs off buildings and trees over and stuff. And I'm going to class, and so I'm running between buildings, and I'm filming with my phone as people are getting blown down the stairs, because it was like 90 plus mile an hour winds were coming through there. And so they're like trying to stand up and getting blown. They're hanging onto the railing and their feet are flopping out behind them. And so I'm running around. I've got a little more weight so I can stick to the ground a little bit better. And as I'm running across, I'm looking up at the bell tower on campus, and it's a brick bell tower, and it's just moving like this. It's just like, it's not supposed to sway. There's nothing in there that should let it sway at all. And I'm downwind of it, obviously. And there's a police officer right there, and he's probably 20 feet away from me, and he's yelling at the top of his lungs at me. And I can't hear a word. It's just all lost in the wind. And you can tell he's just like, like that was the face. And he was telling me to get out of there, I'm sure. But I'm like, yeah. And so I turn, I'm watching, I'm filming, windows get blown out on the building. It was like being in a tornado. And then I ran to my building. My building, went to class, which was not canceled because, it's just weather. So they held class.
Just weather. I need a shirt that says that.
Well, I'm sitting in class. I posted up online to the YouTube page for the school, the YouTube channel for the school, which I was in charge of. And by the time class was over, I have messages from CNN, from all the local ones, from ABC, NBC. Can we run your footage with credit? Can we run your footage with credit? And it went. And so I was going to school and then at work. And so by the time I got back to work, and we were showing CNN there in the building, I got to see my footage play on CNN while I sat at work. And it's like I arrived. And of course they spelled my name wrong, and several of the companies the places that did never gave me credit at all. I mean, it's like, so if they say, can we do this for credit? And I'll say cold hard cash up front. That's the only way you're going to do it.
Right.
But at least it got aired, and it was really neat to do that. It was to see that. So I'll count that as an accomplishment, and I'll just do the one.
That just the one.
Forever.
You're gonna cut it short. Oh, golly. See, this is hard for me to come up on. The regrets, there were so many, it made it hard. This one, trying to find one to come up on achievement. Oh, man. To me, it's hard for my achievements because they almost sound like it's boasting, and I don't want to do that. So, pray to Spirit first of all. I love it. So I'm going to I do this often, and I know it's not fair because when I put the content together and this and that, but I'm going to call an audible, and on achievement, I'm going to flip flop mine to blessing.
Okay.
Because
I'll prove that.
Okay. It's just easier for me to go on. And it actually kind of piggybacks off of my fear, but I'm going to go, I didn't achieve this. I didn't do anything to earn this. It was just bestowed upon me, but I am blessed enough and lucky enough, whatever your belief is, to say that I have had the best parents in the entire world. And the reason I say that, it's a little bit sentimental for a few ways. And some people know this and some don't. So I actually lost my mom a few years ago to cancer. Mrs. Weatherwatch's mom died about 8 months ago and was revived. And tomorrow is her 80th birthday. And she's an amazing woman. And I have an amazing relationship with them. And my dad and I, since my mom's passing, we were already close, but now we're the closest in the entire world that we've ever been. So it's this weird full circle thing. And because the in-laws' mom's having the birthday tomorrow, it's like, I just want to kind of wrap that in one. And I think it's amazing. Again, that's not my achievement. I had no doing that, but it's my current situation. So blessed. I don't think I'll have anything else in life that can top me having the greatest parents I've ever had, and then having the most supportive and amazing in-laws. We all know how many in-law jokes there are out there, and I love to tell those too. They're fun, but they're amazing. So I think I'm going to go on that route because I can't find something to brag on myself that I've done.
That's really cool. That is really cool. That's you can't do better than having some good family around you that will be through you, with you for thick and thin. Just that's awesome.
Yeah, through it all. So there's actually a YouTube video out there of my mother-in-law when she had died in the hospital and then was revived. The hospital did an interview with them, and it's out there. I put it in the mod chat, I think, but if anyone actually wants to kind of see it, it's actually pretty neat on what the hospital was able to do and revive her and bring her back, because it happened in an instant. That
is incredible. That's really cool. There's one story, if we can transition a little bit to it, that's very similar what you're sharing. There's a TikToker actually who passed away. A moment of silence there, and the family gathered for the funeral, and all their sad everything. It was horrible. It was just a very a sad time. Other than the fact that he during the funeral made a grand entrance flying in on a helicopter to announce that, hello, I'm actually not dead. I'm here. Did you miss me? Yeah, he did that. He convinced his family that he was dead, had died, and they held a funeral, and then he arrived via helicopter, and he had a film crew film the whole thing.
Oh, that's
because he thought his family didn't appreciate him enough.
Oh, that's classic. Not only do you fake your death, but you make a grand entrance on a helicopter to your funeral.
I swear, if any of my kids do this and I'm still alive for it, I'd be like, hang on, let me call the lawyer. We need to change the will.
Yeah, 100%.
The eraser. We won't need the pencil, just the eraser. Yeah. That's not cool. That's not cool.
Jim Bob, imagine if the helicopter crashed and it became true, but the pilot survived.
Well, we saved money on the funeral because we've already held it.
Yeah, 6 bolts will never fall for that twice. So if he really does pass, no funeral, nothing, just let it go. I can't believe
like the boy who cried wolf. It's like, nah, we don't believe it. He might be dead. We're like, no, he's faking. He'll wake up soon. Just let's leave him there for a couple months.
That is awful. Future says that's awful. That is. Oops. Sorry, skip. Yeah, no more just for fun funerals as well. It's I mean, okay. So he never got invited to barbecues and stuff, and I get that, but he had to have some friends around. And from what I read in the story too, the only one that knew was his wife, and she tried to talk him out of doing it. So he played with heartstrings. Even if people don't like you, life is serious, and they get upset. So
the camera crew said your wife has to know, or else we're not going to film it. We're not going to do this as like a complete prank. We're not going to be in on this because it's so dirty. It's so low that we're not going to be guilty by association for what you want to do here.
Oh gosh. Well, we've got look at here, right on time. We didn't do this last week. I'm gonna
hear that. That was the second can of caffeine being opened. No, go ahead.
Don't do it yet. We're gonna jump into the finale. Skipping the order.
It's too late. It's too late. I'll be up all night now.
That's okay. You have some splaining to do with Mrs. RA and your grocery shopping.
Yes, I do.
We did it 2 weeks ago, but not last week. But it's funny, and just because Adam hates it. Our finale sign off, we get one dad joke each before we bid farewell for the weekend. Do you want to go, or do you want me to go? Do you need time?
No, I don't need time. I'm good.
He's got what he's ready. This isn't a battle. We've got one each as we bid farewell.
I was cooking dinner, and I like to teach my kids how to cook. I'm out showing them how to boil noodles, and I just said, goodbye. You'll be missed.
Your audio broke up on my end right for the punchline.
Goodbye, water. You will be missed.
Oh, there it is. I like okay. Oh, I like it. Okay. Samantha's in. Woohoo, dad jokes. So the other day, I gave my friend an apple. And he said, thanks, but I only like pears. So I gave him a second apple. So he had a pair of apples.
Going back to the fears we have. I'm afraid of speed bumps. I'm afraid of speed bumps, but I'm slowly getting over it.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, we're sorry we have to do that to y'all every Friday night, but that's just the way we do it.
You know what happens if you pour root beer in a square glass? You just have beer.
square root of. I get it. I love it.
Yep.
Oh,
Anyway, the weekend is here. We're super excited. We've got. It's been a crazy week. We've had this. I feel like I've been live longer than I've been not live. Like looking at the hours.
probably accurate.
I've definitely been live longer than I've been sleeping. So I need to start this weekend on that, which I normally do every weekend anyway. But yeah, that'll be fun. Do you have any plans for tomorrow?
I've got some chores and some errands to do tomorrow, and then tomorrow evening is the surprise birthday. So that'll be fun. And hopefully they're not watching. If they did, I just absolutely ruined it, and then I'll be
right
for
then.
the family. So it's and then
You and I
Sunday
both
was
are in the
Sunday.
doghouse this weekend.
Yes. You and I will be doing a whole lot of nothing except for chores and to-do lists to earn our keep back in the good graces. But
That's right.
for those of you in the path of Hurricane Lee, projected to be Tropical Storm Lee, be cautious, be aware. Heavy waters, minor coastal flooding, things like that. It's enough to be attention to and see what's going on. But thankfully, it has downgraded, and it will so as it gets a little bit closer. But then we've got a new one behind it that's headed on the same path. So we'll have to see where that goes. She's got all the potato chips, Mountain Dew.
I got the
water and
essentials.
all
I
she
got the essentials.
Yeah.
I don't have big plans for this weekend. I'm really going to go sleep. Last night I dreamed I was a muffler. Woke up exhausted. And
He's still going. He's still going.
oh man, it's good. You guys, this is so much fun. I appreciate you all being here. Thomas, good friend. Appreciate you for all you do on and off the air. All the best to you, my friend.
Likewise, fun times.
Have a great one. If you have any tips about, that whole Wife Appreciation Day, do send a reminder. Please send a reminder.
You'll get a text from me tomorrow night.
I'm going to need it. If I don't show up on Monday to work, send help and investigate Mrs. R.A. I'm just saying. We're good. Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend. We'll see you. I have to push this.